This debate will always go on for the rest of time, but I will try my best to break down who's better between Tupac and Biggie. Let's get into it. Christopher George Latore Wallace, May 21, 1972, March 9, 1997. Better known by his stage names, the notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, or simply Biggie, was an American rapper. Rooted in East Coast hip-hop and particularly gangsta rap, he is widely considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. Wallace became known for his distinctive laid-back lyrical delivery, offsetting the lyrics' often grim content. In March, the Source column Unsigned Hype, dedicated to airing promising rappers, featured Wallace. He then spun the attention into a recording. Upon hearing the demo tape, Sean Puffy Combs, still with the A&R department of Uptown Records, arranged to meet Wallace. Promptly signed to Uptown on July 14, 1992. Wallace appeared on label mates Heavy D and the Boys' 1993 song, A Bunch of Niggas. Mid-year, or a year after Wallace's signing, Uptown fired Combs, who a week later launched Bad Boy Records. Instantly Wallace's new label. On August 8, 1993, Jan Jackson, Wallace's longtime girlfriend, gave birth to his first child, Tiana, although the couple had parted by then. Himself a high school dropout, Wallace promised his daughter everything she wanted, reasoning that if only he had that in childhood, he would have graduated at the top of his class. Wallace continued dealing drugs, but Combs discovered this and obliged him to stop. Later that year, Wallace gained exposure on a remix of Mary J. Blige's single, Real Love. Having found his moniker Biggie Smalls already claimed, he took a new one, holding for good the notorious B.I.G. Around this time, Wallace became friends with fellow rapper Tupac Shakur. Lil Cease recalled the pair as close, often traveling together whenever they were not working. According to him, Wallace was a frequent guest at Shakur's home, and they spent time together when Shakur was in California or Washington, D.C. Yuckmouth, an Oakland MC, claimed that Wallace's style was inspired by Shakur. On August 4, 1994, Wallace married R&B singer Faith Evans, whom he had met 8 days prior at a Bad Boy photo shoot. 5 days later, Wallace had his first pop chart success as a solo artist with double A-side, Juicy But Unbelievable, which reached number 27 as the lead single to his debut album. Ready to Die was released on September 13, 1994. It reached number 13 on the Billboard 200 chart and was eventually certified 4 times platinum. The album shifted attention back to East Coast hip-hop at a time when West Coast hip-hop dominated U.S. charts. It gained strong reviews and has received much praise in retrospect. In addition to Juicy, the record produced 2 hit singles, the platinum-selling Big Papa, which reached number 1 on the U.S. rap chart, and One More Chance, which sold 1.1 million copies in 1995. Busta Rhymes claimed to have seen Wallace giving out free copies of Ready to Die from his home, which Rhymes reasoned as his way of marketing himself. Wallace also befriended basketball player Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal said they were introduced during a listening session for Gimme the Loot. Wallace mentioned him in the lyrics and thereby attracted O'Neal to his music. O'Neal requested a collaboration with Wallace, which resulted in the song You Can't Stop the Rain. According to Combs, Wallace would not collaborate with anybody he didn't really respect, and that Wallace paid O'Neal his respect by shouting him out. Wallace later met with O'Neal on Sunset Boulevard in 1997. In 2015, Daz Dillinger, a frequent Shakur collaborator, said that he and Wallace were cool, with Wallace traveling to meet him to smoke cannabis and record 2 songs. Wallace worked with pop singer Michael Jackson on the song This Time Around, featured on Jackson's 1995 album History, Past, Present, and Future, Book Y. Lil Cease later claimed that while Wallace met Jackson, he was forced to stay behind, with Wallace citing that he did not trust Michael with kids, following the 1993 child sexual abuse allegations against Jackson. Engineer John Van Nest and producer Dallas Austin recalled the sessions differently, saying that Wallace was eager to meet Jackson and nearly burst into tears upon doing so. By the end of the year, Wallace was the top-selling male solo artist and rapper on the U.S. pop and R&B charts. In July 1995, he appeared on the cover of The Source with the caption, "The King of New York Takes Over," a reference to his alias Frank White, based on a character from the 1990 film King of New York. At the Source Awards in August 1995, he was named Best New Artist, Solo, Lyricist of the Year, Live Performer of the Year, and his debut Album of the Year. At the Billboard Awards, he was Rap Artist of the Year. During this time, Biggie and Diddy would be accused of setting Tupac up because Pac got shot in a studio where Biggie and Diddy were also at. Biggie denied these claims, but Tupac would sign to Death Row later that year and would make the two rivals. Now, let's go to Pac. Tupac would start and release his debut album in 1991 called Tupacalypse Now. Tupac would release his second album in February 1993 called Strictly for My Niggas. Tupac would drop Me Against the World while he was in jail in March 1995. Pacey would then join up with Suge and Death Row, and the rest was history. The Easy and West Coast wars were popping. Pacey dropped All Eyes on Me in February 13th in 96. On September 7th, 1996, Pacey would get shot down. Shortly after this, in March 1997, Biggie would also die. The East and West Coast wars were so deadly. Thanks for watching.